Hi.
It's like that, like that, it's like that, it's like that, it's like that, it's like that. You know.
Today we are going to be discussing James Charles' new video that he put out. It's supposed to be him taking accountability for his actions. I don't think that he really did, mainly because he missed a lot of key things that he has said previously and his actions and stuff like that, and it just wasn't addressed in the video. And I feel like that just kind of shows that he doesn't really care or didn't take the time to sit back and realize that his actions are a lot worse than what he thinks or whatever. He brought up the fact that he does not prey on younger kids and doesn't prey on younger boys and doesn't seek relationships with younger men.
With these videos coming to light, it's really starting to, not even starting, it's really looking, period, like I'm actively searching for younger people to be in a relationship with, and I just want to say firsthand that that is absolutely not the case. My hope has always been to be in a relationship with somebody around my age or older that I can relate to. And
but in his podcast, he said that he believes that he has the maturity of a 40-year-old man. And because of that, he wants to seek out kids either his age or a little bit older, or the youngest that he's allowed to date, which would have been 18.
Why? Okay, so the thing is, for me, I'm 21, but like I said, I have the mentality of a 40-year-old. Yeah. So for me, like, I'm much more mentally and emotionally mature than a lot of people my age. I'm not physically attracted to older guys, which sucks. Like, I would date like the absolute youngest, like 18, 19 that looks a little bit older, or like 24 that like has a young personality. Okay. It's really hard for me to find people already that like want to date, period. But then a lot of times too, a lot of the guys that I'm attracted to are either like, I had that whole thing with straight guys for a long time, I'm over that, but a lot of the guys that I'm attracted to happen to be like bi or whatever. But a lot of times like they're TikTok boys that like can't just pick up their life and move to LA, or like aren't ready for an actual relationship. Or a lot of times straight guys will still DM me to this day and like be into it. And I've talked to guys that live in different states and stuff, and I'm like, hey, like, why don't you come visit? Like, well, I can't afford a plane ticket. And it's like, okay, well, I can, so like get on the plane. And like, well, I just don't really feel comfortable with that, but like, I love you and I really want to be together. And I'm like, well, we can't be together because you can't afford a plane ticket. You're probably still in either high school or college, like a senior in high school or in college. Right. So like, either you accept the flight and realize that like, this is what I'm bringing to the relationship, so we can spend time together if you actually care about me, or we literally never meet.
First of all, that phrase and that mindset to even think like that, that is absolutely absurd. Oh, there's a dust. He knew what he said. He meant it, obviously, because this is something that he actually does. And he's been caught with not only really young guys, but guys that are also underage. So aside from the fact that he decided to bring up the fact that he has the mentality of a 40-year-old man, and that means that he would want to date the youngest possible, take that out of the equation for a second and focus on the fact that he said that he would be willing to date the youngest that he's able to date, which would be 18. So he said that previously. I don't remember when that podcast episode came out, but that came out a while ago. And now he's saying that he does not prey on younger kids. That in itself, that's just a weird thing to say, because you've obviously not only done it multiple times, but you've also admitted to it and admitted to the mentality and the reason that you had behind the whole situation. And the video within itself that he put out, that video, it wasn't giving very much. It did not convince me that he's never going to do this again, because he's come out with so many notes, or like, you know, like the notes app statements saying that, oh, he's never going to do this again. I'm gonna make sure I check for the ID. I'm gonna make sure I do this and do that. But he said that every single time that someone has come forward. He kind of downplayed his role in the situation, which I thought was very, very, very weird. He did not talk about the fact that he threatened and pretty much manipulated these people that he was talking to, these underage kids that he was talking to. First of all, there's a screenshot of him saying happy birthday to one of them that just turned 15 or just turned 16. Either way, underage. So obviously he knew that that kid was underage, whatever. Anyways, let's talk a little bit more about how he was pretty much manipulating and just using the underage kids that he was talking to. And this is something that he also downplayed in his video. Not just downplayed it, but he pretty much did not address it at all. So pretty much saying that, oh, I'm gonna sue you if you're posting these screenshots. I don't want people putting up my private messages. That in itself, that is valid, to not want someone to put out your private messages, especially if you're exchanging pictures. That's just a common thing. You don't want people to share that. But it's the fact that this guy is underage and you know that. Whether they lied or not, you do have to take responsibility for that, because at the end of the day, what do you expect when you're reaching out to your own fans on Snapchat? Take into account that his fan base is really young to begin with. And I feel like if I was him, I would know that, hey, my fan base is super young, so if I'm going to reach out to my fans to look for someone to date, there's a good chance I'm going to be talking to someone under the legal age limit for me to actually interact with and date and talk to one-on-one. When I think of jamescharles' fan base, I think of Charli D'Amelio's fan base, which is like, I want to say from 8 years old to like 16, 17. That is like the main demographic there. That is your fan base, that is your audience. So to sit there and be like, okay, I'm going to go find a man on Snapchat, and I'm also going to talk to someone who is a fan of mine. First of all, that's just weird, to want to interact with your fan and date with your own fan, whether they were, even if they were of age. I think that's just weird, to seek out your fans only, because that gives off the fact that you want to manipulate them. Oh, this person looks up to me. They already idolize me. They love me. So I'm going to go and date that person. That's just weird. Second, again, underage. You know your fan base, you know your demographic that you're presenting your art to online, your YouTube videos, whatever. They're all underage. You know, like, he makes like shroom videos, if that makes sense. Like, it's something that you can just put in front of a kid and they'll just sit there and eat it all up. Eat it all the way up. Yeah, but he makes very like witty, childish kind of videos, even though like he has this big production. It is something that I can fully see kids sitting down and watching. So anyways, that's besides the point, but I just think the whole situation was weird, and I think that there was a lot of stuff in his video, like his taking accountability video that he didn't actually take accountability for. The main thing that people kept bringing up to James was the stuff that he said on Logan's podcast. So the fact that that wasn't brought up at all, and then he also sat there and said on his new video that he does not seek out younger guys. I think that was very weird and very shady. See the like and dislike ratio. It's very obvious what his fan base is. It's very young. They don't understand the extent, they don't understand how wrong what he did is, because they're so young. And I think, again, that's another red flag, because you could be the next victim and you won't even know, but you're still going to stand this guy and represent him on your page and stand him and vouch for him and jump over your grandfather's grave for this guy because you're like 10 years old and you don't know what the heck you're talking about. I made a whole other video on this, and I don't even think I'm gonna post that anymore, because I literally filmed it last night and I was editing it today, and then this whole video came out and I was like, okay, there's kind of no point of me putting that out there, but just putting in little things here and there. I think that James most definitely deserves to lose his platform. He most definitely deserves to lose his platform. He deserves to lose his sponsorships, because I don't care. For some reason, people think that James is like this heaven-sent guy, and it's like, he's proven time and time again that he doesn't care. If like we're gonna go back in time, not just talking about this video and the couple of things that have come out recently, he has been in scandal. I remember the times where like I would see like Spilly, her YouTube channel, or like just drama channels just talking about James like every day. It was like something new that he was doing on Twitter and doing this and doing that, and it's just like, he has never been like this calm, collected guy on the internet. The time that he went for Alicia Keys, for what reason? Because he loves inserting himself in business. That has nothing to do with him. And that's the end of this video. So you guys can leave now. Goodbye. Leave your thoughts down below. it's whatever. You can agree, you can disagree with what I said, but at the end of the day, he's still trash. So, bye.
Living Molotovs, we gon' light up the city with it. And it's just the full lights in the back.